Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn. I still have to get my mic on. It's 4:14 on the clock, which is the 4 of the Emperor. It's also stability and building and survival. About structure. The 14 is the Temperance card, that energy of patience and balance and taking a step off the regular path for a higher love. Let's go ahead first and take a few deep breaths. Imagine that white stream of light streaming into your crown, coming down and wrapping around your heart, collecting all that love and then expanding it out through your chest, out through your legs and your arms and your head, out through your auric layers, out to the field and as far out around the world as you'd like. Let's take another deep breath. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for being here with me. I was just getting the Dalmatian in my neighborhood. I was just on my jog, and I haven't seen the Dalmatian in a while, and she came up to the fence to see me today. And she's so sweet. She seems so human, this particular dog, but she was just coming in. I think she's a she, actually. She was just coming in now in my meditation to send healing out to you guys along with me. It was very interesting. I've never had that before. Okay, so still feeling a little bit of stress in the air. Today is the 6th of April. And yesterday I didn't come on to do a video. Actually, I hadn't slept the night before again. But yesterday morning my brother had surgery, so I was going to do Reiki during his surgery with him. And I hadn't slept all night, so then when it was time in the morning for his surgery, I was getting sleepy, and then his surgery got pushed back. So I had to stay awake for that, and I actually slept a little bit. I set my alarm. And then I spent basically an hour and a half or so doing Reiki with him during his surgery. So, and then I slept late, of course, today because I couldn't go to sleep early last night. So my cycle's a little bit later than it usually is, which is kind of on the late side anyway. So anyway, just trying mixing patterns up a little bit, you know, like driving a different way to work, or just trying something a little differently than usual might be coming up for you. And I have 4 reads today. I have the that's a scam call. I have a my Metatron deck read, a message of the day with my 4 deck read. I have the read on the table, of course, for the Twin Flame Collective, and I also have a mini Divine Masculine read today, which I'm going to offer you as well. So let's go ahead and roll the die, see how it comes up for today, this April 6, 2022. The 6 is the Lovers. It's also love, family, community, and the day adds up to 16 today, which is the Tower, so sudden events, and that can go either way. So sudden events, epiphanies, sexual exchange can be coming up under the Tower as well. Yesterday was the 15 of the Shadow or the Devil energy, or the codependencies, the addictions, along with the 5, which is the Hierophant of structure and guidance. Excuse me, but also change and expansion and vacations and things like that, excitement and freedom. Right? So with change and freedom always comes a need to ground and integrate as well, right? To learn something about yourself, or try something a little bit differently, or process something a little bit differently. All right, so again, this read was done yesterday, and that was the 5th of the Hierophant and the Shadow side. Again, going into today, which is the 6 of the Lovers, or love, family, and community, and the Tower event. And a message comes up around the Tower event too. Some significant messages came up in that Divine Masculine read, which is why I wanted to bring it out to you. So what do the dice have for us today for the Twin Flames? This April 6, 2022. We have Saturn, all about responsibilities, and also Capricorn here. We have the number 4 coming up again in the month of April, which is also structure and stability, and the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and we're in Aries. And then we have Virgo coming up here as well. So Virgo has to do with purification. Of course, you all know Virgo as the perfectionist, but it's really about purification, about looking at the details, right? Once you've become good at something, the Virgo energy comes in there and tweaks it even more. It's like that true purification. And Virgo doesn't, it's not about criticism for Virgo. It's about, they're more critical of themselves than anybody else. And it's always about wanting to help, because that's the position of the Virgo energy in the 6th house. So it has to do with day-to-day life, right? They're the middle of the astrological chart. It's about not going to the extremes, not being the fun one, right? To go out and have an extreme amount of fun, but not being the bad one either, or the difficult one. It's always being in the middle. The Virgo to Libra energy is very much that way. So it's about learning from those signs and those energies about how to stay in the middle ground, how to be more balanced. And again, them always teaching themselves as well. So Metatron was done at 8:40, which is the 8 of the dance, manifestation of dreams, strength, inner and outer, and then the 40 of the Page of Cups, which is that pure innocence of love. So we again have Leo there as well with the 8. And often the Page of Cups can be Pisces energy, which is interesting because my brother who just had surgery is Leo and his wife is Pisces. And I was just dealing with my daughter who just went on vacation and she's Pisces as well. So there's a lot of that energy. Here is the underlying energies. This is the bottom of the deck, which is that Shaman card of the root chakra, the red. The first card out is here, going across 12 cards, and then these 3 up to 15, and then, excuse me, up to 18 really with the underlying energies, and then these are the last 3 cards, bringing it to 21 cards. And these are extra cards that come up as an addendum here. Okay, so for this Metatron read, the underlying energy is the red card on the bottom, but below that was clarity and the wake-up call. The first card out was the fire card. And what do we have here? We have red. We have fire for one of the elements. We have lilac. So again, the extreme polarizations between red and lilac. And then we also have blue, which is the throat chakra. And white also comes up in that the extra card right there, which is about purification again. But the only element that came up today was fire. Unless I missed it. I don't think so, though. All right, so the underlying energy I started processing at 111, which is the 1 of the Magician, 11 of Justice. It's 4:22 on the clock now, which is the Emperor again, and April, and Aries. The 23 is the King of Wands. That could be a King of Wands, Aries that you're dealing with today. But also it's 111, so it could be a Libra with Justice. And the Magician could be, it brings up for me that Aries energy too. Magician's Gemini, but also Virgo as well. And for me, sometimes it's Aries too. So a lot of Aries coming up right here, as well as Libra, which is that axis of Aries and Libra, as well as having Aries on the table, along though with Capricorn and Virgo, which are very earth-based. So grounding that extreme Aries energy that just wants to punch it right out of the gate, and needing that stabilization of Capricorn, which is the cardinal energy, along with Aries, but then Virgo as the more mutable or changeable, kind of like the messenger service. So the underlying energy with the red card and clarity and the wake up was calling you to shower with that white diamond light for purification, to go within to clear the shadow, like I explained as we took our deep breaths, to clear the shadow in a wake up call, to align, to listen and take notes perhaps, or tone, with that shaman energy of the root chakra. Again, that's been coming up all week, to really focus on the root chakra issues of safety and security and the need for strength and power. So why do you need strength and power? To just be you. And the sovereignty is just about allowing yourself to be you, whether that's weak or strong or whatever you are. It's about allowing all of you. And in that is the sovereignty of being able to be you no matter what, and that you're worthy no matter what, whether weak or strong, no matter what. So topaz blue comes up regarding the throat chakra here today, and then lilac or violet, that violet color is coming up, and again the red of the root chakra, the throat, the crown, and the root. So get the extremes, and then the need to speak your truth about those extremes and where you are and all that. Meditation and the wake-up call, and the shaman with peace and being good to the earth. And that came up too. A Sadhguru video came up on my feed, and he was talking all about the need to nourish the soil. So meditation, wake-up call, and the shaman with peace, and how the shaman, or the natives, no matter what continent you're on, the natives always know how to work with the earth, to be good to the earth, to your mother, right? She is where you exist from, what you exist on. You can't live without her, right? At 117 is the magician, and the 17 of the star, and healing and shining your light. With dragon fire and the strength of the sun, the dragon lines as well, which can be below the earth, and the Atlantean energies, watching the Lemurians shower in light as the ancestors flood in with appreciation and healing here, which is interesting that my Dalmatian came up, because the Dalmatian is white with black spots, right? The twin flame energy here of diamonds, untying the karmic knots in the grid, radiating their auric field, which came up in that video I posted about literally being able to see my auric field connect with the sun, even though I'm down here and the sun's up there. Their rays reach far and wide, and we never realize that because we don't see it right in front of our face. The meditating that helps cool us down from that hot sun, and the dragon energy. Again, so the dragon hot energy is being associated with Atlantis, and then the cool energy of the dolphin and water energy is always associating with Lemuria. And the call here to help conquer your fears, with the 11 and 17 numbers coming up on the cards, but also in the times as I started the read, 111 and 117. So 11 and 17 coming up very significantly, which is bringing up air signs again of Libra and Aquarius there, along with the magician, which is Gemini. So very much air signs in the timing here, even though fire was the only element that came up in the read. And remember that air feeds fire. The angels helping, so the call to help conquer your fears and allowing your angels to help take that one step at a time with family support, getting your wish, receiving the sun, and then saving some of that energy for later, balancing the light and the dark. And remember, I always talk about that shadow pack that we keep. You can't save too much, right? Because then they'll fall over. But you can save a little bit. It's like collecting the sun for the day so that you have some sun at night. That's your shadow pack to use overnight. You always have energy stores. So always balancing the light and the dark, as the shaman goes with the flow in that one-to-one relationship on the whispering bench of peaceful relationships. And then Big Bird coming up as the Queen of Swords on the road less traveled, heading east in the green of lush green, as opposed to the desert, which doesn't have nourishment in it for things to grow, which Sadhguru was talking about. After radiating some rainbow energies and cradling with your wings. So again, radiating of the masculine sun, and then cradling with the mother's arms, of patience, balance, and boundaries of a higher love, of love and nature, and green, go green. And then I was feeling a little connection right there too, but in a personal sense, if you know what I mean. The Page of Swords is coming up here with a message from the castle on a cloud, right? And you could be dealing with your actual cloud that you deal with on your electronic equipment. But also that castle on a cloud is that Milky Way, right? Which is our home, our ancestors, but also that energy of the 0 point field and the 0 point higher realms in magic, the beacon of Atlas that you are, to shine on, to radiate your light. So shine on to power up, make your field as big as possible, like the Milky Way, with the Queen of Swords, Big Bird. Remember, big is the capital B of 13, of transition, and the IG of I, God, And then IRD, which is I on the road or path, off that beaten path. The transition to I, God, of self-connection to God, and I am the path, I am the road. I shine or shine your light on them. And then 144. So at 144, the beacon is here, which is the number 44 in the deck, along next to the 41, as above, so below, and then combining the 44, 41 brings up the 144 reflected. So 144, as above, so below, reflects, just like the pink willows, the weeping willows, looking in the pond and seeing its reflection, reaching back out to them, reflecting compassion of the 144. As remember, I was talking about the 44 becoming the 8 on the other side in the 5D, as going from the lap dance of the 3D perspective to the 18 of the do-si-do, of the stand-up dance, or being a stand-up kind of person. Going back and forth on your own between the masculine and feminine, not needing someone else to show you how to be masculine or feminine, but reflecting compassion within you by reflecting compassion outside of you as well. In the dimensional gateway, which then the 33 comes up, of the Golden Gate Bridge of the 4D purge, along with Jesus on the cross, to purify and unify, and ending each day held in the sunset of your ancestors reflecting you and with compassion. And what does your sunset look like? The Page of Cups evolution here in birthing the new heart and starting fresh, starting over again as the inner child. And what weighs on you today? It's all about you being your inner child, but also being that inner child, but having learned how to use that inner child energy wisely as an adult. So it's the wisdom of the adult, but the love of the child. At 151 is the Magician, and the 51 of the King of Swords. And the communication of speaking up and getting it out there and receiving signs from Spirit with love to allow you some emotional fulfillment, to inspire, to arc, or in other words, moving the ether or the wind beneath your wings, the ether or wind and gravity beneath your wings here, as we're not only dealing with air but ether as well. The aura of the sun, the mother holding space, right, because the aura of the sun is the radiation out, the mother holds space, which is radiating in, and present beneath the star of Bethlehem, or memories of faraway home, from winter to the fall, or the wind to the fall, the time to release control between the polarities in that high vibe new dawn of the age of Aquarius here, where all decks are cleared at 156, which is the Magician, making magic with all tools on board, and the 56 of being in your knowing and keeping that energy clear, keeping all your decks clear, like again in the Valley of the Shadow of Death, which is no longer death anymore, it's just transition as we clear the shadow out, and sunshine is here, collapsing family timelines as the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords, of codependency versus purity and innocence. The High Priestess and the Purple Moon, with a timeout needed here, the underlying energy being around clearing, the call, and remaining calm. And then the first column being the firing up of the sun and the kite, like the summer, to conquer your fears and heal and dream, with the number 17 and going with the flow, one-to-one in that one-on-one relationship of the whispering bench, that personal time, in the castle on a cloud, or a message from the Akashic records, which is recording your chords, to refresh your chord between you and your twin. The fire and ice of polarity, the mother and son, or the father and daughter, but specifically the mother and son were coming up here, in opening wings of the masculine energy and folded arms to hold of the feminine. A little flow or ride here, and all is well in the angelic realms. All well as in the angelic realms here. So the second column here is about bridging the family on their way in those energetic energies or exchange, the arrows of love, or lots of communication or travel back and forth, to Big Bird's Atlas, which is the way to the world, but it's also a roadmap, right? Or the Queen of Swords and their 3D stronghold of the 44 lap dance, for the number 33 train that they need to catch to go through purgatory or the 4D, as the Emperor lets go of control, as the fourth quarter is here. It's time for the changing of the guards, the relief crew, as the third column is the twin flames, the two diamonds in the sky, the twin stars of Gemini, whose bright light causes a bit of havoc here, packing light and dark, and you know your Geminis, two sides, inside and off sides, off path onto the journey instead. Remember, because the path leads somewhere, but the journey is just a time to enjoy, with auric keys and fun learning, reflecting compassion at 207, the 2 of the High Priestess, the 7 of the Chariot, in the phased array of the sun, in the valley without the shadow, with a hot desert is a hot desert place. Welcome back to the human race. And then 717 was coming up, but it was all of the sevens, the 7 of the Chariot, the 17 of the Star, the 27 of the Ace of Wands, and the 37 of Unconditional Love of the King of Cups, and so on. And the way it was coming up, when you write that, 7 and 17 is 717, and then 727, 737, and so on. As the Chariot, 7, with stars, 17, is inspired to unconditional love, 37, and 27's inspiration. To the 47 of synchronicities and having lots of options and heaven in your eyes, and then 57 of that separation to humble the Knight of Pentacles, who's 67, to become that loyal, humble servant, and then on to the Sovereign of 77, reflecting the dream family, which is 78, making the 87 the reflection of that, and then heaven on earth, which is that 78 and reflecting that, the dream family, and then the 79, which is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which reflects the 97 as we go to the last 7 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 97, reflecting the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or in other words, go lead of the gold, cheering the others as they get across. So once you get to the other side, the pot of gold, the reflection of that is actually cheering everybody else on along their way as well. At 212, which is the High Priestess, and the 12 of the Hanging Man and wisdom and seeing new perspectives. Okay, so the next one is the message of the day. And I'm going to write the time down today. 22:33 basically is when we're switched over here. The message of the day is here. My 4-deck read, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the LENORMAND Reverie, the Gilded, and the Kipper deck there. Okay, and it starts here. This is the underlying energy here. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then it kind of continues over here a little bit. So for this read, it was done at 11:14. Hold on one second. Let me write that down. At 11:14 to 16 is when I did the message of the day. The 11 of Justice, the 14 of the Temperance card of Patience, and the 16 of the Tower again, which are all energies that came up already in the message when I started. And, oh, that's interesting too at 1:14, because Catch and Release came up at 11:14 last night. And also watched the end of Something's Gotta Give. So that energy is also coming up, which ended at 11:14. So all of that's coming into this read here. Again, Catch and Release, and Something's Gotta Give. The underlying energy of the Spider, the Letter, number 27, which we just talked about, 8 of Wands, that energetic exchange, the Arrows of Love, and then Imprisonment, which is the 29 of the 3 of Wands, being present in the moment, right, of the gift of the moment, but also your psychic gifts as well. As the spider's web is here, perhaps stuck in that web, or like the lion in its lair, it's the same thing as the spider in the web, having control in the middle of things, in the center, just like in the labyrinth, being able to be in the center because you know your way out already, and being able to enjoy being in the center there. The spider's web here with a risky letter of energetic exchange or arrows of love, or being the prisoner of love and trapped in that web. The crow standing guard as the right guard, with the vulture waiting for the leftovers of, I was just getting arrears again, so that came up yesterday, so somebody must be in arrears and dealing with the debt of that. So the crow standing right guard as the vultures awaiting for leftovers of the golden egg cracked open, the seal broken. There are no more pretenses here, right? So we bring in all the light with the open door policy, and remember that even with open doors, you can still keep secrets. It's about allowing the light to shine on everything, because if there are no secrets, then we can't have issues, right? Because everything's already out there. And then Vugo sea spider came up, V-U-G-O sea spider. And so I looked up Vugo, and it literally means the oriole bird, which means golden child, which as the golden egg came up right here with those cards. So you don't see the golden egg, but it was underneath the spider card, because I always go down in the underlying energies, I go below the spider. So the golden egg or the golden child was coming up along with Vugo sea spider here. And if you've ever seen the sea spider, they're huge. They can be up to like 3 feet long. And it's coming up around the golden child here, whose arms reach far and wide. The Vugo also means to speak and say. So again, the throat chakra, to agree. And there's that energy of being too agreeable, that Libra energy of always needing balance and being too people-pleasing. But again, the golden child here, they're golden because they're always the one making everybody else happy, right? So no one can complain about them. And yet they're not making themselves happy, so there's a big imbalance created there, and the need to be by themselves because they're no longer happy around other people, which I get that totally. All right, so the golden sea spider, which is also coming up as gold, which is you go, right? We have Vugo, which is coming up as you go, sea spider, which is also has attributes of like the crab in the ocean with an exoskeleton on them for protection. They're found 2,300 feet deep, almost 3 feet wide up to, and they've 8 long legs that carry their digestive tract on them. And that was from Ocean Today, NOAA.gov. But they also have 3 to 4 extra limbs, like a shadow pack, for clearing and courtship and carrying their young. So the masculine actually carries the young, and the feminine one is actually bigger than the masculine. So they have 500 million year old sea spider. Larva was actually found. So they've been around forever, 500 million years. So the largest live close to the north and south poles here. There's something called polar gigantism because of the polarities at the north and south pole. And they also use their legs to breathe. They're found worldwide, but 20% of the species are actually found in Antarctica. They stick in their legs like a straw and then suck out the insides of their prey. So they literally leave some of them alive. They just suck out some of them and then let them be, which is kind of a gross feeling, but that was definitely coming up here, which is like energy vampiring, right? Sucking it all out of you, but leaving you to live. So leaving you hung out to dry, so to speak. At 1143, which is justice and the coming together of justice, and again, we're talking about Libra with the justice card, and the child in transition as the page of swords in union with the king of swords. So again, that's coming up. The king of swords and the knight of swords came up in the other deck. So again, we have this father and child energy here. So again, mother and son, and then father and daughter perhaps coming up as well, but father and son as well. Those like the father. The page of swords in union with the king of swords, which also could be his own inner child of spiritual maturity and peace, and looking close at the details of the affection of, not the affection, but the infection of love, right? For those people who keep love out because it's dangerous, right? And now it's overcome them. They can't get away from the infection of love. It's now got through that clamor oyster onto the inside. The Atlas burden is the attention from success and inspiring risky words or document, a broken seal here. The King of Swords left the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy or abundance, to the Page of Pentacles reversed to inspire them and so that they can let go of the Page of Cups reversed and their rejection or vulnerability, or to be able to let go with the other child. There could be some jealousy here between children as well. This can also be a father leaving their money, some of their money to their children before they die. So now they won't compete for the money or won't compete for their attention to get the money, right? So taking that away, and that could be like gifting every year instead of waiting till they die to receive their whole inheritance. So it could be a way that a father has found so their kids won't use them for money and then find out if they really love them or not, right? In that sense. So we have the King of Swords upright, leaving behind the Ten of Pentacles energy, or that need to be associated with that abundance or wealth or legacy. Leaving it to, this could be also retiring and leaving your legacy to your children, or perhaps they're in the same field as you, doing the work that you did, so leaving that business to them. As the Page of Pentacles reversed, to inspire them to let go of the Page of Cups reversed, who may be rejected or rejecting the Page of Pentacles, or just the Page of Cups reversed can be vulnerable and shy and rejected, but they also could be a spoiled brat who thinks they're entitled to everything. But so can the Page of Pentacles reversed, right? That could be someone who's an opportunist. But it also could be someone who's just in need of help to learn how to do what they need to do. The Knight of Wands reversed is coming up as the player falling short. Or perhaps they're just paralyzed by their passions or fell off the wagon and detoxing and healing in order to walk away from deception, perhaps walking away from their old ways. All right? And I don't know what the relationship is between the King of Swords upright here and the Knight of Wands reversed. But there's definitely that energy of, right, the player type of energy. Or perhaps they're up all night and they can't physically function here because they're up all night. Or over the arrows of love at 11:51, where the King of Swords comes up again with Justice and Libra. So the King of Swords could be Libra energy right here. So the marriage may have fallen through, or the Queen of Cups with abundance and a journey of despair, or the pair of the twins officially on the Fool's journey of high honor of the Knight of Wands, now changing their ways, and imprisoned by their gifts or inspiration and love, again being infected by love now, so they can't not see it because it got in, right? Before they were so strong they would never let love touch them again, and now love has broken through, it has infected them. The first section is the bee, the starfish, and the hyena. The carpenter who's hardworking, the superficial star slinking away as the hyena, and the carpenter bee as the fox leaving the hen house for a higher love, with the Queen of Swords, twin flame lady in waiting, or perhaps leaving the lady in waiting behind, and the starfish home, stable, and the emperor breaking up with false person, or stable without affection, learning how to be happy with self without needing an other. Perhaps in the tango of the hyena on a magic adventure, with the emperor with concerns of martyring themselves, and the Queen of Swords and the emperor perhaps without affection, or false person or Gemini reverse between them here. That could also be the other side of the Queen of Swords upright as the Gemini reverse, because she could be a Gemini. So that could mean a Gemini, right, can have that alter ego. So that could be the two sides of the Queen of Swords with the Emperor without affection, or false person or Gemini between them. The second section is the Tarantula Spider here. So here's the spider without their web, and the swans reflecting on this. The tarantula in one-to-one direction, right, without having it be their home ground, right, without them having a home advantage. The tarantula leaving the web to deal with a one-to-one direction relationship and ending the cycle of unhappiness with a message of unconditional love. The swans are King of Cups of unconditional love, or Cancer here with the King of Wands at the courthouse. Perhaps Cancer and Sagittarius here in a bold move, or traveling somewhere. The third section here is the otter, the bunny, the tiger, the butterfly, and the moth. And this is definitely an energy of a lot of kids around the tiger. Right, the tiger who loves to have the affection and attention of the children around them, which can be a teacher or a grandparent or a parent, just anyone who loves to be around that kind of attention. So with the kids with the tiger in the middle, the white Bengal tiger who's stalking. This also could be someone who likes to stalk children. So it could be both. Again, whenever you're looking at one extreme, you have to look at the other to bring it back to the center again. The otter with wise friends perhaps took down the field, and the King of Cups walking away with nothing here. The bunny is complete with a mountain climb, and starting over, hermiting changes, as the tiger king of wands, perhaps with the rugrats, or the pests, or the mess to clean up, as the wounded warrior reversed, surrendering to the wounded warrior's path, or surrendering that path to go on to the journey instead, as the butterfly loving lady with gifts may be ghosted by the main male here, and the moth hermit with flowers or with gifts depressed about the emperor's courtship, and fighting to get over it and surrender and to get out of dodge away from the Aquarius reversed or depression here, and then or lack of hope, and Pisces, Virgo, and Aquarius reversed here, as well as Gemini and Aries, all in this section. The fourth section is the mouse, the peacock, the owl, and the stingray. The mouse may be anxious about the Queen of Wands swans, blinded by the light. I was just getting the blind side as well. Somebody could be blindsided or literally be in a situation like the blind side. The mouse is anxious about the Queen of Wands swans, blinded by the light with a shadow lover here. The peacock, romance with third party through work, inspired by unexpected income or incoming person, as the owl is wisely exposing the powers that be, or the magician and the mature worldly man here. You know, two very different perspectives. One's that family man who's very responsible, and the magician is alternative, right, and wants to manifest big time. The stingray may be plugged in here to the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands committed to bliss and that high vibe journey, knowing about third party and their magical bliss. So we have the panther, the scorpion, the oyster, the dragonfly, the firefly, the beaver, and the lamb at the end here. So that would be the fifth section. And the panther is coming up at 120, which is the 1 of the magician, the 20 of judgment, or that wake-up call. The panther, power lady, entitled child, or with message, perhaps a man with sudden thoughts of a woman, and the scorpion with justice of standing up for themselves in energetic exchange or arrows of love, or their occupation, standing up for themselves, with the oyster, Knight of Cups, taking a chance to play house with wealthy man in a transition here. And again, the oyster is the one trying to keep the love out, right, where it's got in. So now they're taking that chance, not being afraid. The dragonfly, power man, fighting for and is inspired by great fortune. At 126, which is the magician, the page of wands, who's inspired, that firefly, that young inspired energy, perhaps inspired to travel and carry the weight of the Queen of Wands thief, or take the rap for them, or perhaps she's the one who stole their heart. And the beaver working hard on the dam, which can be a wall, right? But the dam is also a wall to funnel water other places, not just hoard it for themselves. With a snake and poison apples and the vehicle of infiltration, and to reap rewards of a hidden message, as the lamb page of wands is inspired to crack codes, or destined to close the case or cold case file, with romantic little girl receiving a dream gift of an empty family room, or gifting her a house at 132, which is the magician, and the 32 of the journey. The 32 of the one who brings in the good news at the end of the war. Okay, so now at 3838, we're going to do the mini masculine read here, which wasn't really that mini. It's a very significant message coming through. So here's the mini masculine here with the gilded. Yeah, it is the Gilded Tarot. And this is the way that went. So, and it is my usual abbreviated Celtic cross, but it's using the whole deck. So the time was 1:02 to 1:07 when I put down the cards for the Divine Masculine here, present to the past, with the ship that sailed so long ago. And remember, this one started at 3838, which is the Queen of Cups times 2. Present to the past, the ship that sailed so long ago, to the Page of Swords, upright, spying or lying or immature message here. I'm sorry, the Page of Swords is reversed there. I knew that was reversed. I'm like, why did I write upright? The Page of Swords is spying or lying or just an immature message or conversation or silence, right? Silent treatment or bad mouthing or potty mouth, spreading rumors, letting go and laying their cards on the table about having no sun or drained or being burned or radiated or overexposed, and the Tower of the Empress driving and near death or fell asleep at the wheel, or after a sudden death, Leo reversed, Scorpio upright and reversed, and Taurus upright here, or Empress with a penis or, a power woman who thinks she's a man, will be the death of him. Removing his dark cello or taking it from him, right? The only piece that he has, that kind of energy, or the memories of 9/11, or any kind of emergency, or an explosion or a house that burned down in the past, perhaps burned it down to the ground to get out of the rain. And again, these could be things that happened in the past or recently happened and they're dealing with it. And here in the recent past is the confession of wanting to die or about a near-death experience, dumping a load or burdens or responsibilities, or hurt their back carrying too much, under too much pressure, with the bucks watching their every move, or perhaps kicked out of the house by the Empress for being clingy. And the foundation is the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected, jealous, or moody, or being the schmoozer, or just insincere, right? Pretending like you love everybody when you don't, in order to get attention. Or just feeling unloved, because they're not being loved. Again, you reflect what you are, right? So the central energy is the Five of Wands reversed, in a losing battle, ending a conflict, or not willing to fight for, or a group that doesn't want to play with you or them, challenged by the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So now we have two knights, both reversed here. The Knight of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed is the challenge. And both of them in the crowning position is the Six of Cups reversed. So a falling out in the past or a negative past, perhaps dealing with difficult children or kids who are feeling challenged here. Totally uninspired, unable or unwilling to function. Perhaps they're being called lazy or always tired, or being threatened to be kicked out of the house unless they get a job or unless they get their chores done. Perhaps with a child who tried to harm themselves or attempted suicide in the past, and now using that as an excuse not to do anything, always threatening to kill themselves if they don't want to do something, or if the parents or kids or siblings don't do what they want. Or the opposite, where the child keeps it all to themselves because the parent ignores them or has no time for them or abuses them, and therefore they either succeed in killing themselves or they survive by parenting themselves. So how many kids, like when you were a kid, how many kids have said to themselves growing up, I'll show them, I'll be rich, I'll be famous, I'll have tons of friends, have the perfect girl or guy or the perfect house or job, or I'll have no job at all. I'll show them, I'll die, and then they'll be sorry. How many kids have said that about their parents, right? When their parents are being mean to them or abusing them. All their plans for me that I never wanted demolished, or they never really wanted me around, so I'll give them their wish. No one wants to die per se. They want to end the pain, the suffering of feeling unloved, of separate from source, feeling rejected, abandoned, humiliated, betrayed, and ultimately unable to find justice in the end, which are the five main wounds. The parents who will never understand you, a lover who will never get you or appreciate the true you, what you do or offer them every day, and what they don't reciprocate, missing kindness, patience, or the other using calm as condescension, right? Pretending to be patient and kind because they're always calm and in control, and yet they're using condescending energy and arrogance to demonstrate their power over you. The one who offers you choice so that they can tell you all the ways why your choice was wrong, to prove themselves superior and then save you from yourself. The narcissistic is able to be both the perpetrator and the savior, as most parents are, the good guy and the bad guy, as the child is the perfect victim to mold. But you don't walk for your child. You teach them to walk. And then you taught them to talk. So why are you speaking for them? Let them speak for themselves instead, and then let them change their mind when they learn by their own experience. Nothing gets through to a human like life slapping them in the face with a tower moment to get them to listen. And that so was resonating with me. When I was teaching my son to drive, no matter what I said, he would still turn left on a green light without looking. And, of course, that would scare any parent, the bejesus. And it wasn't until we got in a car accident, literally, where I yelled at him 3 times. We were driving home from going out to breakfast. Yelled at him 3 times, and I don't know where he was. But he didn't hear me. And we had an oncoming collision because he turned left on a green light without really looking first. So it took that tower moment to wake him up to never turn left on a green light without looking ever again, right? So those kind of things, hopefully for most of you, you don't have to have that extreme situation where, both your mom and your sister are in the car with you as you have a head-on collision with someone. But that's what the world does if you don't pay attention to what you need to know. If a baby can't recognize what pain is yet because they're a baby, how can they stay away from it? Right? Because they get smushed through the vaginal canal on the way out. It's one huge wake-up call for that baby, and then they cried, and then they spend their whole lives trying to get back into that safe place of the womb, but trying to find their way in outwardly instead of going within where home never left them. It just got a bit lost and disoriented coming out of the canal, so they started using their eyes instead of their heart in what to believe. After all, these 2 big people outside of them found them all helpless and confused and held them in their arms and protected them from the other big people using containers like cribs and strollers and houses to keep them from hurting themselves and to think about what you've done, or spending long hours in your room drawing or making things or writing or imagining how things could be. You can't play with others until you've reconciled yourself in the corner over there, like in school. Again, the separation of a child and making them the bad guy, and then put in their head as they're in the corner, right? Instead of having a group chat of all the perspectives of the situation, and then to close their eyes and drop into their heart for a moment. Maybe that would be a solution to that problem. At 158, the Magician and the 58 of the 4 of Swords, and the 5D connection. So soon, going back to the read here, and being tempted by the Holy Grail, that which inspires you when you're bored, as Teal Swan says, if it's boring, you haven't looked close or deep enough yet. The Divine Masculine is the King of Wands reversed here, with the Knight of Cups reversed, and the 6 of Wands, who could be another child around them, and boredom overcoming him, all cut from the same cloth, one more than the other, but the one closest to you, or most like you, is the hardest one to look at. So what wound are they showing you that you are resisting? Was there kindness and conversation just a game to get attention? And they were not really interested in what you had to say? So who are you allowing into your energy? Are they cutting you off or redirecting you to what they want to talk about? Did they say, let me see it? And then when you pay them to meet, but only for them to never follow through, or perhaps then steal your idea at 204, which is the High Priestess and the Emperor? Remember that love is not manipulative or unfair. It resonates. It flows back and forth. It doesn't just open or shut the door, but it does both. It does not pretend to be what it is not, and yet it is open to something more. At 209 is the High Priestess and the Hermit here as spirits connecting. So if the Divine Masculine is seeing himself as the King of Wands reversed, he is tired or sick and tired and angry or abusive, perhaps not eating right, not loving himself first. Around him is the 6 of Wands reversed, that feeling of a failure or falling off the wagon or hiding under the radar, being needy for attention, right? And being that manipulative player type of person, needing that attention or success in order to be popular and have a great reputation. So the block here is the Magician reversed without the tools, being insecure, feeling, or being manipulative, or idle hands being the devil's workshop, or why don't you just meditate instead? As the 6 of Swords is upright, finding peace away from the 6 of Cups reversed, or that negative past, or the chaos or challenge of little kids, to offer a new life, time and their energy or effort in order to detox and heal themselves first, after a split, a lie, a divide, or surgery, or the need for clarity, perhaps having fallen or taken a fall, or embarrassed themselves and lacking faith, and falling into a wake-up call, wanting to juggle again, or be able to do just daily chores, all of a sudden not being able to do something you used to take for granted, wanting to now move or play or be inspired to recover from injury, surgery, illness, or destitution, or exile, where now the worst part is over and the bliss is about to get in, of enjoying the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, legacy, retirement, or heaven on earth, never nearing the end, needing closure with the Queen of Pentacles, or perhaps the whole darn world, as the Divine Feminine, the 5D, or Pisces reversed, or just in another world, perhaps the 5D, or Pisces reversed, oblivious, perhaps traveling between the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, along with the wounded warrior, who may be blinded by their light. The Page of Pentacles reversed may be off from work with the Queen of Wands, or in need of help, money, or opportunity, or an invitation, and overworking or not working. So this could be someone either working overtime, not working at all, perhaps on vacation, or things aren't working out with the Queen of Wands upright and a secret passion, or with Pisces reversed, choosing a new path, struggling to find a way out or escape their chains, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, no longer confused under the King of Swords upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, no longer being confused about feeling under a man's thumb can be here as well, and not allowing, maybe your wound is not allowing men to control you. So instead of doing it in a healthy way, you push yourself to the other extreme, and so then you literally push all men away from you, right? Because you're never going to let a man control you, right? So it's about, if you're obsessed about one perspective, make sure to look at the opposite perspective, which actually came up with Teal Swan today as well, about when you really want something. It's not about looking at what you want and not getting it. It's about looking at what you're resisting in that person or thing that you want. So no longer confused under the King of Swords upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, with a dissatisfied family or emotionally unfulfilled. And this could also be dealing with older brothers in a dysfunctional family, and perhaps having a little group chat about things from the past and what's coming up between you. So the Chariot may be waiting or sitting there late, or maybe a late arrival with Cancer upright and Virgo reversed, or traveling incognito, or after being stuck over isolating, perhaps inspired to reap rewards as the Queen of Cups upright, perhaps overwhelmed or tears of joy, or perhaps you're just hot as hell and sweating with the Queen of Swords, but they're both upright. Perhaps the Queen of Swords is uncomfortable at 238, being the High Priestess with the Queen of Cups, and then the 39 of the Knight of Cups, unable to sleep or in an awakening, but rising above and now coming out. Perhaps destined, or with Libra, for self-satisfaction, ending the nightmare, or snag, or perhaps justice for all now, or dealing with Libra here in a balancing act, which is Libra energy, perhaps in a breakup or without affection with the Emperor here, or Aries. It could be Libra and Aries dealing with each other here, in a breakup or no love lost between the Libra and Aries, or that could be the justice system and the executive branch or business area, or the Emperor home at work post-war, or inner conflict or anxiety or imprisonment of the Hierophant marriage, religion, or establishment, societal norms and guidance and commitment systems, in disconnect or at a distance from the King of Cups upright, who may be smiling to himself, healing their heart, or post-surgery or discharge, or comfortably numb on medication with no one around, or recovering after a night out of drinking too much, or standing up for oneself to bad influences, or maybe your own bad influences of feeling sorry for yourself and then changing your perspective and then going out and doing something instead. And sharing, being charitable with your dreams, healing and being the star you are. Or Aquarius or star, and the Page of Cups reversed, and the Sovereign reversed or dependent, perhaps vulnerable dependence, or girls just want to have fun and not tell, or petty arguing and not telling their true feelings to each other, or perhaps you experience delay after delay And then at night, the Knight of Wands upright came to join you, perhaps looking hot but tired, or just finding the strength to go out on their own after a long day of delays or a missed flight perhaps, and the Knight of Swords reversed was feeling weak and lashing out, or perhaps holding their tongue until they get out of dodge, while another is praying for them at 253, which is the High Priestess and the 53 of the Knight of Swords. So that was that read. So that was 5511. So now we go on to the twin flame read on the table. And so it is. All right, so the twin flame read on the table here. Here's the main read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And you see how the Lover's at the end there, it's never in that position. Just thought I'd let you know that. And then we have the full 7-deck read here as well. Here's the 7-deck read. And here is that message. So this one was done yesterday afternoon as well. The message of the day was done today, as well as the masculine read. This was done yesterday along with the Metatron read. This was done, I cut the deck at 322, which is the Empress and the 22 of the Fool, or the Fool's Journey. I'm sorry, I didn't cut it at 322, I cut it at 314, which is Pi Day. And then I turned the page at 322 when I started writing this. So at 314, which is the Empress and Pi Day, 314, the Temperance card of a higher love, which is also my daughter's birthday, and Einstein. My dad worked in Einstein for 20 years, actually 22, which 322 came up here. Interesting, so maybe he's supposed to come up for some reason. So we have the 3 of the Empress, Gaia, of abundance, and the 14 of the Temperance card of the angelic energy of being patient and balanced and a higher love, along with the 22, the Fool's Journey. And then at 330, which is the Empress and the Union, or the Home, which the 30 is also the Om symbol, that looks like a 30, with an arc and a diamond on top, or a crown. He Lovers comes up here, along with RS. So let me see real quick what comes up for RS, because I forgot to look that up. So RS comes up as, excuse me, it's to awaken. Look at that. Awake and to awaken. And he Lovers, which can be masculine lovers, or he loves her. Actually, I was getting from that as well. Let's see if there's any other definitions. Raja also comes up under that as box. And laughs also comes up here, like LOL, for RS. That's it, though. So, and there's it's the Egyptian definition, which is awake or to awaken, RS, with the symbolism. So that's cool. So he Lovers awaken, and that can reference the Divine Masculine collectively. The he Lovers awaken here, to the union here, with the 30 of the Empress and the abundance and of Gaia, which can be Terra and Earth as well. The 30 of the Home and the union, of the celebration of union. And then I finished clarifying at 344, which is the Empress and the 44 of the 4 of Cups, of grounding, integrating, and mastering, of receiving of love. How to receive, allow the love to infiltrate or infect you. Wonderful infection that we're talking about today, about love. Okay. So we start this readout with the major arcana of the transition or death card, higher self, and the wheel, the Starseed, which is the Fool, guidance, which is the Hierophant, and Lovers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana in the read today, and then Ascension, which is the world after the read. There were 2 swords, 1 wand, 1 pentacle, and 1 cup, and there were no court cards in the read. So again, there is the major arcana there. So the Hierophant's there, the Lovers are there, the Higher Self is there, and the Transition is the Death card, which is the Dark Knight can be there as well. And then the Starseed is the Fool. So the major arcanas are there, but there's no court cards. There was 2 swords, 1 wand, 1 pentacle, 1 cup. And then we had double 1s, double 2s, double 3s, double 5s all in this read. So the 11 is the Justice, 22 is the Fool, the Journey, 33 of the Christ consciousness and the unity consciousness, standing up for oneself without getting triggered, right? Or not needing an excuse, but also to speak your truth. And then 55 of the Ace of Swords, the Truth, and Excalibur. Along with 1, 2, 3, which is the 3D, and also 1, 2, 3, jump across the 4D bridge to the 5D. And we also had, in a lesser sense, well, actually, 35 was significant here, of the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands, and 34 of the 8 of Wands, and 45 of the 5 of Cups. So that purging energy of crossing the bridge here, it literally looks like that here. Look at the way it came up. 1, 2, 3, and then jump to the 5 across the 4D bridge here. And then we also had, in a less significant way, 7 and then 9, 10, which is begin again. The 7 is about the Chariot, the feminine within the masculine, the calm before the storm, and the key to the quiet. Yeah, so the code line here is all about change in music, and the number 6 from 1 and 5, which also the devil can be referenced there as well, but it has to do with love, family, and community, and the Lovers, regarding day-to-day life and the shadow side of day-to-day life, and change in music. That's always a part of that. And of course, music is a great way to help facilitate changes along, right, to calm people. It can also be used to aggravate people, depending on what the music is. So the message here was, to the nth degree, the AI key, which, remember, artificial intelligence isn't necessarily something negative. It helps us every day in many things that we wouldn't have otherwise, like in medical equipment that we need for surgery and things like that. But also could be both sides. So don't always look at one thing as any one way or the other. There's the good and the bad to everything. So to the nth degree, AI being key here, and also Ma, or the mother's, coming up here as well. And I was also getting Emma for somebody. But the twin with aces, or the twin acing here, lots of different definitions here. To the nth degree, AI key, perhaps dealing with a mother or referencing the mother, regarding the twin acing the he, or the masculine, the acing of thrusting or pushing into or sticking in, just like that spider came up, of, you know, of digging into someone. It's like a mother digging their nails into someone, or, you know, or someone just with their words, you know, sticking it into somebody or hurting somebody else. And then hay is for horses, also coming up, and hiccups, the things that happen that you can't help, the snag, the hitch, the catch, the kink, the problem. The fig or fig tree was also coming up here, as well as this one, these ones, he, she, it, I, perhaps that SOB, or dang, darn, oh man, or man. Again, to the nth degree, the AI key, the twin acing the great wheel of destiny in these areas, the 5 of Cups of grief and crossing that purging or 4D bridge, the CEO, right, the head of the company, or the seal of reflection, of change in music, the Christ energy, the Sophia inner child, perhaps Angie, sick, or the energy of the inner child here as well. With change in music, we're broken up into CHA, NGE, or just CAN and GE, or music being mu and sick, or muse and the inner child. And that could be informed consent as well. So the dancing muse of Angie's, or Christ's energy, and the Angies can be angels, like that could be a nickname for the angels, but someone named Angie is coming up here as well. The dancing muse of the Angies, or angels, of Christ's energy of the inner child, or informed consent. Perhaps a sick opportunity in a good way, or time or leisure time with the inner child, or being small, little, little eyes, little faces, the inner child, or perhaps the scorpion stick like that spider, and the dance of Mu, which besides Lemuria references nothingness, the butt, the 666 and 2/3 meter to the second degree here, or squared, or very cow talk, a Greek letter, or it's all Greek to me, the crocodile, we, water, I, old, to happen, you, the mule, about, around, or approximately, or concerning, to him, to it, his or his being delicious, not the pubic regions here, and also the shells of some animals, extremely, to be ripe, to be hidden, but yet to see at the same time, to drink, to suck the life out of, the energy out of, to lick, to smoke, to take, catch, have, to be sharp or cause effect on. So tie was definitely coming up here. So this has to do with Thailand, or perhaps wearing a tie as well can come up as well. But tie being key, again referencing the mother, or Mu, or the earth, or Tai Chi perhaps. And instead of TMI, it was coming up as the TMA of too much affirmation or too much attention. Perhaps the twin one, or aced, or is the one, or two as one. He, the catch, destined to grieve or feel guilty as the CEO, or sealed with no kiss or hug, or perpetually expanding and contracting with change in music, or wanting space to give attention to all their muses, to be seen as a child or wild one and not tame. It's also coming up as source, as being source M, or sourcing the morning time, AM, or just the energy of source and the I am presence, or the transient ischemic attack of a mini stroke, or the trademark of the total weight of the world, of one to ace that high vibe purging without even a hug, a no offer of help or affection, or loss and regret and shame, or grieving early, grieving the sky and the heavens, the ceiling, the fog, the mist, the haze, vapor, nothing, anything. Perhaps a jay, the blue jay came up in my song video yesterday, the crow, the jackdaw, the whole entire complete small, minute, or minute, or the little feet and legs of the children, the seal of the one, of us, of he, she, it, they, what, my, person, people. See there. Again, it's all in perspective. The Thai fruit or fetus, or source island in a river, like being an island unto oneself. A likable barn to eat habitually at, perhaps have oatmeal, or comical or pleasant and related there, at this nice little place in the middle of the river, which can be yourself. The energy of to the nth degree, a habit, an island, perhaps the habit of being an island unto oneself, right? Pushing others away because they've hurt you before. And referencing the mother here, pushing the mother energy away because the mother hurt you. The AI key of the twin and acing the high ground, that high vibe destiny of purging the heavens, the sky, destiny and grief, the whole kit and caboodle, or the monk key in the middle of change and music, or perhaps musings of the inner child. So we start here at 511, which is the 5 of the Hierophant. It's of change, expansion, and freedom, and the urgency of that, like we call 911 and 411, but it's really the 11 of justice, which is truth and balance and alignment. The underlying card here being transition, and beneath that transition reversed, which is here, move it just a little bit. So here's that card, the transition, with the mini cards on top. And beneath that card is the 3 of Cups reversed, the 9 of Swords reversed, the Knight of Wands upright, the 10 of Wands upright, and the King of Cups upright, with no reunion, no joy, or third party or bad influences trying to end the nightmare or come out of hiding, as the Knight of Wands is upright, rushing in with their slow burn. Perhaps Atlas leaving or working And the wounded warrior is behind for unconditional love, or to be the King of Cups. So this wounded warrior energy is standing right behind the King of Cups, but he's not looking at them. It's like they're either backing them up, or they're behind them to soak in the unconditional love that they bring, or to be the King of Cups. Maybe the wounded warrior's yearning to be the King of Cups, or he is the King of Cups, trying to be how he puts off to other people, or wanting to work for them after a transition and ending, the dark night or near-death experience, or the King of Cups the King of Cups with Scorpio or Cancer in their chart, with dreams of bliss, without the Emperor reversed, or fire at last. Or perhaps they're free at last, and this can be multiple different situations of being free. Whether the King of Cups is free from the Emperor reversed, because he's out of control abusing his power, or perhaps he's stepping down or sick. And maybe the King of Cups is free from the Emperor reversed, but maybe the Emperor reversed is being freed from their position, or the Emperor's free from his condition. Post-war, the Page of Wands inspired at the new moon, or to get up before the sun. Or the Page of Wands is over the Fool or Aries here, with Scorpio reversed, Aries and Cancer reversed, but also Aries is upright here along with Aquarius upright. The Justice of the Bird taking off for the stars, or perhaps just taking off. Overworking in the Page of Pentacles up early or at the new moon, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles all upright here, or withholding time, money, and energy from Libra and Aquarius if they don't work it out with the Page of Pentacles, willing to get up early to perhaps learn what they've done wrong, or perhaps to learn a new job, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles to figure it out, or to help them figure it out. And this could be coming together to learn something, or to counsel each other, and willing, but it's like the Page of Pentacles being a child who didn't do something right, but they're willing to work it out, or come in earlier to learn because maybe they didn't get it the first time. And this could be school or even learning a new job. But it feels like family too, where someone's kind of pushing the other to give them another chance, right? Because they're willing to get up really early and try. And they are upright here. The Lobster may be up in arms about who let the dogs out here. But the dogs don't look aggressive here. They look kind of confused. Or the King of Pentacles is upright and feels like the Queen of Swords put a spell on him, or doing healing work on him, or distance Reiki, like I was doing with my brother yesterday, and rolling out the natural red carpet while under blankets, or displaying different materials, and or the dogs look hypnotized or drunk or hungover, or the Queen of Swords was up all night and still did healing work on the King of Pentacles, or someone called out because they were up all night and can't function. And that could be somebody at work who just called out because they just couldn't do it. And at most jobs, if you call out because you didn't sleep, they don't want to hear about it. So 541 is the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups of self-love, spiritual love, and new love. Or the King of Pentacles, Libra, and the Queen of Swords is Aquarius, with the Page of Pentacles who deceives them at work, or about school after break, or about their transition here, or matriculation. Perhaps a child who's not telling them the whole story, but the Page of Pentacles is upright here. The Queen of Wands reversed, in separation, as Justice or Libra, magically manifesting destiny by schooling the golden goose. Or perhaps there's two Libras here and a Gemini or Virgo, and the Queen of Wands reversed could have Aries in their chart, or be Aries or Sagittarius. Or the Queen of Wands reversed left as Libra, and Gemini or Virgo is destined to use roses and or lilies, and the Sphinx to keep the timing of gold or goose in check. The Magician is really stretching it, or really reaching here, but finally got it. As the teacher, King of Cups, or the teacher keeps the goose quiet while others study or research their Akashic records or quiet time. So again, this is, actually I didn't realize this, but what I just said here in this read relates to, not putting the kid in the corner, but getting all the perspectives of what happened from all the children, and then perhaps having some quiet time for everybody to think about it, or meditate rather. So again, what I said here was the teacher, someone finally got it, as the teacher keeps the goose quiet while others study or research their Akashic records or quiet time. So separation comes up here, and below that, free yourself. As the Eight of Swords, perhaps energy vampiring going on here in the green room or the mass unit, or gangrene as two at odds but stuck together, or even but apart. As men with two lovers or loves, which is no fantasy here with Cupid's arrow pointed right at their head, leaving behind perhaps religious teachings, or leaving behind a bowl of dessert and the turtle who's way too slow for the big cup, the World Cup, or with the cherry on top, and new love, a bed of roses, or sex with the masseuse, and like keeping it separate, sex with the masseuse and vacation with the kids. So again, not having any relationship and just having sex and spending all their good time with the kids at 557, which is the Hierophant and the Three of Swords. So at 558, which is the Hierophant and the Four of Swords, with abundance, which is 88, the twins dancing in abundance, and beneath that was time out of the 37, which is the King of Cups. We have overwork or not working out, feeling of failure or under the table, as the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, both upright here, may feel powerless to the King of Cups reversed, who may be unable to sleep or awake now and coming out. Or the Sovereign reversed or dependent and the King of Cups reversed, and that could be a child who's dependent and a parent who's also dependent, refusing to sleep together or use the same room, or grown kids or parents or grandparents keeping parents up at night or pulling all-nighters, perhaps studying, levitating, comfortably numb, or rising above near death or ending, or perhaps minor surgery and feeling off afterwards, as the King of Pentacles is destined to self-love, spiritual love, and new love, and the 88 abundance of the dance between the twins. All of the court cards in this read were upright, except for the Emperor, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords reversed. Those were the only ones reversed. All the other court cards were upright here today. So the people were in positive energy, not showing up in the read. But the devil's on fire here with the Knight of Swords, rushing in with the delivery or the truth from the Empress, who perhaps can't come, with ending the conflict here. Maybe her showing up was going to cause conflict for somebody else, so it worked out in the end. But there could be good news or success or getting attention with the Page of Cups and a heated exchange with the Nine of Cups. And they could be, the Nine of Cups is upright, but there may still be some dissatisfaction here, hanging out with or feeling hung out to dry by a third party or bad influences or a cancellation. Or the Page of Cups is not telling their true feelings to please the one hanging out with bad influences, right? That's like the Page of Cups is the younger sibling, right? Wanting to hang out with the cool older kids, and so not speaking their true feelings to hang out with the cool older kids who are actually bad influences. So the World is reversed, or Pisces reversed, or Divine Feminine in the 5D with the Wounded Warrior, with loving memories destined, or Pisces having a bad day, and Libra sending love, reminding him it's okay at 632, which is the Lovers and the Journey, or the one coming in with the good news or leading the way. And the recent past is the Ace of Wands, the passion ignited after ending the battle of Atlas with the weight of the world and working out a lot, perhaps, with clarity about starting over or no longer bored, as the Queen of Swords is not receiving back what they've put into it or out, with egos out of control or weakened by an ultimatum or limited choices, and in need of strength or courage or good health to accept a project or offer, perhaps passed on from bad influence or third party, or over isolating or losing their mind, and that could be apparent with Alzheimer's or dementia as well. And this could be like where this person who's over isolating or has Alzheimer's or dementia or just someone hiding out is offering passion to the person in the middle, who then is just passing it on to someone else because they don't want it. Or this could be abusing their energy as well with vampiring. Okay, it's that same energy. or hiding and hanging out trying to see new perspectives and be wise instead. And the Queen of Pentacles reversed, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, receiving love from the Knight of Cups upright, while the Hermit is reversed, imprisoned or anxious. Perhaps passion after a transition or rising above the dark night of the soul, or rising above the dark night, which is the divine masculine. Perhaps imprisoning the Three of Swords in separation, disappointment, or minor surgery. And unstable, moving or visiting, as the Page of Pentacles is inviting the Ten of Pentacles reversed, who may be uncomfortable, losing their patience or temper, or fallen angel, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, loses. It's like the Queen of Pentacles here has losses, but her losses are being dumped on and feeding into even greater ones with the Ten of Pentacles family overall. Or dysfunctional spending here, or perhaps a loss of a person or financial loss, but after a transition, perhaps because of tax season as well, perhaps having to pay more taxes than you thought. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed has the Eight of Pentacles, perhaps going out of business or going out, but owes the Ten of Pentacles. Perhaps the Page of Pentacles child is trying to help them who are struggling with finances, but much bigger finances than the Page of Pentacles. But that could be a child wanting to help, by offering some money or their savings from their piggy bank. But we have Earth and Sagittarius here. The challenge being the higher self, or the King of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles, which can be a father and child again. Perhaps them offering to contribute. Those could be two children as well. But the Queen of Pentacles reversed could be with a fallen angel or Sagittarius reversed, or she could be that fallen angel or Sagittarius reversed, maybe spending faster than the parent or family can keep up with, or somebody could be using retail therapy, for their loss, if they lost somebody or something. And this was at 648, which is Lovers and the Walking Away and Within of the Eight of Cups. The central energy is the higher self upright, with new information and clarity about sexual offer from third party to the divine masculine, and the divine masculine using that, or being weak, using that sexual energy or offer of passion, creativity, and growth to pass on to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and or the Queen of Swords upright, or taking their energy and giving it to someone else. The challenge being the Wheel upright, destiny. So why is that a challenge? The Hierophant reversed, or divorce, or Taurus, or outside the box, King of Cups, of unconditional love, with the Page of Cups offering love to those out in the cold, and lovers, and that could be a child who's very loving, like their father, King of Cups, who is very kind to people on the street or people who have nothing. And the lovers dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, reaping rewards or daydreaming of the soulmate partnership, but left high and dry, injured or alone, without a place to stay, but the Page of Cups with a smile on their face, or perhaps puts a smile on their face. Perhaps the King of Cups and the Page of Cups are more spiritual in nature than other people in their family, or breaking a contract or a call, always having to rush in and save everyone, with Taurus reversed, Sag upright, Gemini, Libra upright here, Capricorn upright, Virgo reversed, and Pisces upright here, with the Wheel upright, or destined King of Pentacles to be surrounded by females and having to save the day, no longer sitting on the fence or putting out sweet tweets or bird seeds in tweets, or no longer to be strong-armed or having their nose rubbed in it, with ego, Leo, kids or pets, and Sagittarius off to the rescue, and the Fool free to leap to a heated exchange in the park, out in the cold, extending an olive branch to keep patience, or to fallen angel, who may be losing their temper, with Lover or Sagittarius reversed and Gemini upright, with the Empress upright and the Sovereign, which can be a wealthy mother and child as well, or patience or those of great affection, abundance, or abundant mother and daughter, at 702 here, which is the Chariot and the High Priestess, which also can be Cancer and Pisces. So now here is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, destined to withhold time, money, and effort, or perhaps save, or energy to receive an offer of love from a desperate one, or perceived as that, And the Knight of Wands reversed player falling short, or perhaps paralyzed by their own passions, or the devil waving at the Fool, or is the Fool without options, but to rise above with the Knight of Wands reversed, falling short of their expectations, which is no surprise, and the world upside down, or needing to complete the cycle, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D with Pisces reversed in unfair situation and defenseless to the energies, and then magnetizing that, or magnetized after sudden jealous rage, or just throwing a tantrum, of the King of Swords upright, catching the Queen of Cups in the woods with the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups unable to make peace with the King of Cups, or the King of Pentacles coming in trying to speak for her or on her behalf to the King of Cups and the King of Wands, but they have a hostage between them. It could be, or they could feel imprisoned by them as well. It could be two Queen of Cups here as well, or two water signs, or twins perhaps, or the King of Pentacles is trying to get the Queen of Cups and King of Cups back together. And there's Pisces reversed and Scorpio reversed here. All four kings are upright, as well as the Empress is upright. Could be the King of Cups and Queen of Cups and the Six of Cups family, so kids, or the Queen of Cups is with the King of Pentacles, and another Queen of Cups is with the King of Swords, and the King of Cups is with the King of Wands, with a prisoner between them, or perhaps a surrogate, perhaps. Or again, the two kings could feel imprisoned by the people around them trying to come in and feed them their advice. The King of Swords could be a Gemini, and the King of Wands could be Sagittarius here, or Aries, at 720. So 7 and 2 is coming up twice here. 7 of the Chariot, 20 of the Judgment card, or announcement, or a wake-up call. And again, there could be that energy of the mother and daughter, and the Emperor and the Empress coming up here. But again, the energy of the Chariot coming in with the High Priestess, and perhaps 3 and 4 o'clock, they could be appointments as well. But the King and Queen of Cups and the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords may not be okay with what the King of Wands is doing with or to the Empress upright here. Again, that was at 720. So at 722 is the Chariot and the Fool, or the Fool's Journey. Soon here is the Starseed upright with a big download to the crown and the truth to be told to the Knight of Swords reversed, whether they like it or not, with the 10 of Cups upright, family or emotional fulfillment, and the Sovereign, or forcing the Knight of Swords reverse hand, with the Knight of Wands right behind them. The 3 amigos could be here too. You know, they could be 3 people who went out drinking or got drunk last night, or, you know, that kind of energy. The 3 amigos could be the Death or Dark Knight, literally, the Masculine Dark Knight reversed. Could be the Chariot Warrior reversed, and the Judgment or the Judge reversed, who come together to scam people at work, or perhaps they're running numbers, or taking in runaways, or Scorpio reversed, Cancer reversed, and Aquarius reversed without peace, with the Magician with all the tools on board, and it's not fair play, or not sharing, or being straight with the Sovereign here. Or the Truth finally caught up to the Knight of Swords reversed, who may be lashing out, or silent, holding their tongue, with the 10 of Cups upright, family, or sham fam, along with the Sovereign, who may be very happy with themselves, and with a happy family. We have Aries upright, and Scorpio, and Cancer, Aquarius, all reversed. Gemini or Virgo upright, perhaps Sag upright here too. The twin flames seeing themselves as the 2 of Swords reversed, perhaps no longer comfortably numb, as the High Priestess is upright, and the satisfied wizard is exposed, and there could be a little bit of arrogance there, with the Page of Swords stepping up, or a message to bring about the past, and the King of Swords upright, and pious arrogance between them. The High Priestess or religious woman or man, with Pisces, Aquarius, or Virgo, or aide or nurse, or the secret keeper, or assistant, and the Page of Swords wanting to make amends for true love. And it may not even be their true love. They could be wanting to make amends for their parents' true love, that kind of energy. And that could be a pet as well. At 738 is the Chariot and the Queen of Cups. And again, with true love, that's the card that came out. And then along with that is stay optimistic about your love life. So that's this card here. The positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. There also could be around the twins, or how they're seen, is being without guidance, or in a divorce, or following their own inner guidance instead of following other people's guidance or their input, or being outside the box, holding on or saving for a vacation or being more spiritual, or holding on or saving for kids, Leo, or to expose all about a separation, a heartbreak, a procedure, and the Knight of Cups, offer of love to the wounded warrior who may be on guard, grieving a loss, regret, or guilt, or shame. And we have Taurus reversed and Leo upright here. The block being the Five of Cups upright and not being allowed to grieve, or being taken advantage of or scammed at work. With music, change, but even more so, domestic harmony and physical activity. The Three of Wands is here, strumming her pain with his fingers and telling his woes to another girl who wants to give him her attention, or the wounded warrior child in need of their mother's support. Lovers resisting sudden changes, or being stubborn and resistant, unable to find peace. But now the worst is over, or lovers' bliss between hostage King of Cups and the fallen angel, with two lovers and the Empress and Sovereign, and that can be an older woman and a younger woman as well, or a mother and wife or daughter. And then Gemini, Sag, and Taurus upright here, but Sag, Scorpio, and Pisces also reversed. With lovers and Sagittarius reversed out in the cold, and Taurus upright with abundance, Scorpio reversed and Cancer Earth person reversed, and Aquarius reversed without peace, and the Knight of Wands upright and the Knight of Swords reversed, with Sovereign who's upright. Perhaps someone is knocked in the head here, and that could be literally or figuratively, someone got knocked in the head, or perhaps their crown open. And the lovers ending conflict, but not surrendering to all that is. So they're ending the current issue at hand, the conflict, but they're not surrendering to all that is, defenseless to drama and energies, and unable to rest or rise above. The upside down world, the divine feminine in the 5D, or Pisces reversed, dropping the ball, the act, or breaking patterns here, or again the need for closure here and for the cycle to end at 7:57, which is the Chariot and the Three of Swords. At 10:04, which is message received, needing to come together to end suffering. The Knight of Wands rushing into the rescue, and then carrying the weight of the world as well, as the King of Cups after transition or near-death experience, or is just dead tired after a procedure, heartbreak, or disappointed, or in separation, or no longer comfortably numb and without guidance, or wanting to commit, inspired by higher self and challenged by their destiny to a fresh start with a big download to the crown, grieving in the woods and withholding until they offer big love or saving for their lover, avoiding temptation, lovers no longer battling, competing, or conflicted, and dropping the act, but also needing to surrender to all that is. There's no need for excuses here, just being yourself, rising above with no sleep and awakening, the world upside down, or the feminine in the 5D, at 10:15, which is destiny of the shadow side, or the devil, and the King of Cups after death or ending, inspired to rise and awaken here, which that word was very significant, came up in the beginning of the read, awake or awaken. The heart, issues, anxiety, and separation from higher self, and challenged by the wheel or destiny, or things moving forward. And now the Ace of Pentacles reversed, saving for a fresh start, with new clarity and self-guidance, instead of listening to everybody else, and grieving their lover, ending a conflict to break patterns, defenseless to awakening to the 5D world and the divine feminine at 11:04, which is justice and the Emperor, or stability. The central energy, the central line here is really positive, but there's like outside influences here. The higher self is inspired and challenged by this beautiful new destiny with a new start after purging the lover energy. And so that line is really good. It's just then we have like planning for the new start with the lover, which is also good here. But this bottom line here is about dealing with death or endings over there, and then separation or surgery there, and then dealing here with new information that might knock you off balance, and then a lack of guidance and learning to guide yourself, right, or figure things out on your own. So, but overall, it's a very good read about breaking patterns or dropping the act at the end there. All right, so let's just pull a few cards and see what comes up. It's 137, 134:37 it came up to, which is the energetic exchange or hours of love, of unconditional love, and the magician embodiment. All right, let's see what comes up with the energy deck here. And we'll do the journey of love as well today. So the cardinal energy of Aries, but also Capricorn too, right? You can't just jump out of the gate and do whatever you want, because there's responsibilities to take care of as well. And then we have the Virgo in the middle, which is the purification. And that must be frustrating at Aries season, because it's always a tax day, which is, always wanting to get that stuff taken care of and out of the way, which is restriction as compared to Aries, which is that, that leap of faith and just putting yourself right out there. So let's see here. What is our takeaway from this read, please? The Angel of Balance. So again, when you're looking at one extreme perspective, always make sure to look at the other to come back to the middle. The 48 is the walking away within, and of course meditation and walks in the woods help with that stuff, as well as salt baths. The Angel of Balance, of feeling really good, right, when things are in that state. And then we have the first chakra as well with Archangel Metatron. We've been talking about the root chakra all week, and the Wounded Warrior, letting go of releasing the Kundalini energy as the wounded warrior, the old way of being, in order to become the fool with an open heart on the journey and enjoying the journey, as opposed to looking for an ultimate outcome. So let's bring up that energy as well. It's like that those two cards too are giving me too, as I'm looking at them right now, the energy of the child teaching the father. And then here's the man holding a coin, the 43 of coming together and enjoying oneself, right? That's like the father who always sacrifices for everyone else. And now here is their child, or perhaps their inner child, or their inner feminine child, teaching them how to enjoy themselves. But there's also that angle here of the deceit with attachment, right? The need to take off the face, the false face. Like let go of attachments, but also let go of resistance. Take off the false mask, right? This is the deceiver, the false mask. The 25 is that Knight of Wands, and the 5 is the Hierophant. And the Knight of Wands is up right here, but the Hierophant is reversed in this read. So there definitely could be some deception here regarding the old systems here, because the Hierophant's all about societal norms and guidance of the old systems, right? And the deception there, what doesn't resonate with you. So again, following your own guidance. And then here with the Angel of Love, of following your heart. The 49 of the 9 of Cups, being happy with yourself, right? If you can learn to be happy on your own, then you can be happy in any situation with any person, because all you ever need to do is walk away if it's not resonating with you. So the bottom of the deck is the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. The 41 of the Ace of Cups, self-love, spiritual love, and new love. And this one always strikes me, and I never understand this in this deck, why she's the crown chakra, why she looks so unhappy, right? Because the crown is supposed to be that expansive energy and that shining moment. So there's an energy of trepidation there, or maybe it wasn't her dream that she achieved. That 7th chakra of opening up the crown. Perhaps it's that energy of opening up the crown and realizing what you've been working toward all your life isn't you at all. It also could be the restrictions on our liberties here. Or someone who's very serious about what they're doing. And maybe she needs to lighten up a little bit, right? There's the sunshine. There's the contrast between the sunshine and the serious student here who's won all sorts of awards. And here's the need to be able to relax and have vacation time as well, right? Because a lot of times we end up being one or the other, but not balancing ourselves in the right direction. And then here we have that more balanced energies too, of boredom here, of allowing yourself to be bored. there's a reason for boredom. It's grounding and integrating what you've learned. So you need to be still. You need to play and have fun. You need to go for your achievements, but they have to be what you can't live without. It's about doing something for work that's not work for you because you have to do it. You love it so much. And right, so that balance of physical, spiritual, emotional, all the different lives that you are, taking care of your health, but also taking care of your mental health. Right? Time for work, time for play, time to eat, time to pray. And even your work, again, like I said, shouldn't be work. We're not meant here to be sacrificing here or sacrificial lambs. We're here to learn how to expand and have fun on it. How to do what we love to do and create. Whether that's creating children, creating artwork, music, whatever it is that you want to create. If you want to create buildings, whatever it is that makes you excited about life. Let's see what the journey of love has for you guys today. All right. Coming together. Come together right now. Over me. The 66 came up this week too as you're literally the 6 dropped into this experimental world on earth, right? Because that's not the all. The 6 isn't the all-encompassing love. The 9 is. That's that energy of compassion. The 66 is of being in the 4D, learning how to be the 5D here, of that 9 compassionate love. The 66 is also the Golden Gate because that's talking about the gates across the 4D bridge, which is that purgatory bridge, the purge, the purgatory. It is that bridge from the 3D crossing over to the new world, which is the 5D, which is more of that 99 energy, right? So we also have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 4D, and then the 7, 8, 9 of the 5D. But remembering the 66 of the Golden Gate, or the 2 spirals of the heart, is the key code that you carry as a human in a lower consciousness to get you to the other side, which is referencing this 4D here. The coming together from the 3 to the 5D. And again, being compressed again. So just like I talked about the child being compressed out of the vagina when they're born, this is that same energy of being compressed through the 4D to get to the 5D, to be reborn, to come together to the middle. So it's that same type of energy. So I want you to realize that there's a lot of pressure in being reborn again, right? You have to go through the canal. The cloak is the 50 of the 10 of cups, of that emotional fulfillment, of finding emotional fulfillment within self and the beauty of connecting with Source. And once you have that, you have everything, because you'll be happy wherever you are, whether you're with people or not with people. Okay? And this, again, is the pressure you're feeling in your heart of going through the rebirthing process, again, of being pushed out of the womb into the new place, going across the bridge from the 3D to the 5D, just like the baby leaves Source to come into the earth and be with their mother. And then here's the mother of loving all that is, holding space for the masculine energy, who hasn't learned to do that yet. The 22 of the Fool's Journey, of living with an open heart and taking that leap of faith, trusting all that is, because in every moment the choice is always very simple. You either stay there and connect with someone, or you walk away because they don't resonate. Those are always your 2 choices. And it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a thing as well. Do you resonate with this or do you not resonate with this? And you can still love it and not resonate and walk away. It's not my thing, it's okay. So again, the Fool's Journey of living with an open heart in every moment and taking that leap of faith. Knowing what you know and holding space for what you know is to be true. Okay? And finding happiness within yourself and understanding the birth control and what it is the birth control. That's for somebody. The birthing process and learning to come together. This is reminding me of the Labyrinth card, because it's that same coming together energy of the 43 of the 3 of Cups, coming together to the middle. In order to do that, you have to squeeze through the canal, or you have to make it through the labyrinth. You have to figure out the keys to get through, or go through a tower moment. Okay, to find that emotional fulfillment of the Golden Gate. And there's the 22 of the Fool's Journey. The 22, remember, it came up the other day, it goes in reversed. That the 66 is the 4D, the 5D is, no, I'm sorry, it's lower than that. Like us as a baby coming into this world, be dropped here is the 66. We're being dropped into this human experiment. in love, but it's not 9 love, it's 6 love. So we drop down in this density to get to the 55 of the 2D, and then to the 44 of the 3D lap dance, to the 33 of crossing the bridge in the 4D, which is that Christ consciousness, right, of being hung on the cross, and then making it to the other side of the 22 on the Fool's Journey with an open heart, which is the jump off point in the 5D to all other dimensions. So again, about the double digits and the way they were coming up this week to tell a story. This card also wants to be seen, man of the earth, woman of the sky. And you can, they can be seen the other way too, as the woman of the earth and the man of the sky. It just depends on your perspective. But it's the 48 of walking away within, right? When you're going through a challenge or something's not resonating, you're feeling separate from source. It's just that time to walk away and within, because there are always going to be differences between any two people, let alone the man and the woman. And again, with Teal Swan this morning, another thing that was coming up on her posts was how there's so many differences that can repel two people or can be complements to each other, right? So it goes both ways. Differences can be good or bad, and the sameness can be good or bad, right? Because if you're both the same in one sense, it's too much of something, or it can be great because you love doing that together. So remember, there's always two sides in everything. The bottom of the deck here too is to dream a little. The 51 of the King of Swords, to reach into his feminine side here, finding the power within, the chakra here, to dream a little, and God speaks directly through you. The 33 of that Christ consciousness on the 40 bridge. The cord between you and your twin, the cord between you and source, where God speaks through you, as you, that you don't need to go outside yourself for that. And again, dream a little, divine masculine, King of Swords, going into your feminine self here, and then connecting with your divine feminine, literally. That's a very sweet message, actually. Let's see what that one says here. So the first card out was the coming together, so that's what we're going to read. And that always reminds me of the printing presses, too, of the Muppets, when they say, hit the presses. 66. And I'm getting presses, right? 66 is, I'm getting that as the number of when the child was actually born into this dimension, into this world, into this kind of energy of this kind of love. So coming together, you and another soul are coming into each other's worlds. It's a karmic destiny that's unfolding, an expression of divine plans set in motion many lifetimes ago. That destiny may have a romantic purpose. It may have a sacredness that is sexual. It may have a sacredness that is creative and tender about learning self-esteem or courage. It may bring a gift of enduring friendship and loyalty, or be an expression of a passing flash of divine force that shakes your foundations and helps move you out of a situation which would have consumed your light with tediousness and playing small. The coming together is happening, however. Know it is of love. This oracle brings guidance. You're going to be moved by love. Whether it's long-term or fast and furious, it is love and it has meaning. Let it be what it is, and do not try to force it to become what you think it must be. It has worth, as do you. Enjoy the experience and know it serves your growth. Two energy patterns came together and shared frequency in a field of possibilities. And there was resonance. Remember to breathe, drink water, rest, have joy. Have nature. It's all good. Rise and be love, and love and rise. Bye, guys.